Hello, good evening and welcome to Funda of Mechanical Engineering on YouTube. In this video, I am going to explain some technical questions from air conditioning and refrigeration that is generally asked in an interview, mechanical engineering interview, mainly in air conditioning job, mainly for air conditioning job. So without delay, I'll explain top 10 questions. This is the second video of my series, mechanical engineering interview and question and its answers. So keep watching. This is the second video, and for your information that I have already shoot my third and fourth video on this series. So and that third and fourth video will cover the some top technical questions from basics of air conditioning and thermodynamics. What kind of questions being asked to you in interview? So quite wasting time, let me just start discussion, so that next time when you will appear the interview questions in a mechanical engineering job, then definitely you will be able to answer your interviewer very technically and smartly. So quite wasting time, let me discuss. Let me bring to you the system and then I'll discuss. So here is the question that what kind of question appeared. So first question is convert 1 TR to BTU per hour and calorie per hour, kilocalorie per hour. Basically you have to convert 1 TR into TR means ton of refrigeration. That means how much 1 ton of refrigeration into BTU per hour and kilocalorie per hour. This can be asked in MCQ type question, or there will be multiple choice question, right? So basically you will have to keep remembering in your mind that 1 TR is equal to 3.51 kilowatt. Just remember it. And from our college life, booking knowledge, we know that 1 joule per second is watt, okay, and 1 kilocalorie is equal to 4182 joule. Okay, so 1 joule is equal to 1 by 4182 kilocalorie. So 1 TR is equal, so we know 1 TR is equal to 3.51 kilowatt. First we convert kilowatt into watt, so multiply by 1000, and we will put the value of watt from here. By putting these two equations, we will get the value of watt. By putting watt here, you will get a kilocalorie per hour. Okay, and for 1 TR is equal to 12,000 BTU per hour. Just remember it. 1 TR is equal to 3020 kilocalorie per hour and 1 TR is equal to 12,000 BTU per hour. Let's move to the second question. Second question is how much millimeter of water gauge equal to 25 Pascal. That means 25 Pascal pressure is equal to how much millimeter of water gauge. You have to remember something. If you have to qualify the engineering written exam, or you have to qualify the interview, then you have to remember some standard value, like 1 atm is equal to 1 atm means atmospheric pressure. 1 atmospheric pressure is equal to 10.33 meter of water gauge. This is the standard. So meter converted into millimeter of water gauge, that is 10.33 into 1000. So also we know from chemistry, physics, 1 atm is equal to 760 millimeter of mercury. Okay, if we will convert millimeter of mercury into Newton per meter square, then 1.013 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square, and we know Newton per meter square is the Pascal. Okay, so 1.013 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square is equal to 1.013 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal. Alright, so basically 1 atm is equal to this much Pascal. So 1 Pascal is equal to how much? That is 1 by 1.013 into 10 to the power 5 atm. Okay, so if 1 Pascal is equal to this much atm, and we know 1 atm is equal to this much of millimeter of water, so 1 Pascal is equal to 10.33 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 1.013 into 10 to the power 5, that is 1 Pascal is equal to 0.10197 millimeter of water gauge. So 25 into 25 into that. This is actually point has missing from, and this will be 25 into 0.101 197 millimeter of water gauge, and this will be 2.5493 millimeter of water gauge. Let's move to the third question. Here is a question is little tricky. What is the weight of 40 liter of water in kg? That means there is a 40 liter of water, and what will be its quantity in kg? Since all of you know that the density of water at 4 degrees centigrade is 1000 kg per meter cube, that is 1 meter cube is equal to 1000 liter. We have to remember it. Okay, so here itself we are calculating the weight of water in kg by taking the specific weight of water. So basically 40 liter of water means 40 40 kg of water. Just remember it, because 1 cubic meter of water is equal to 1000 liter. Okay, let's move to the next question. What will be the one air change per hour ACPH for a cubicle room of 25 meter of side dimension? Say if there is a cubicle room and one side is 25 meter, then volume of the room will be side cube means 25 into 25, it will be 15,625 meter cube, and volume of the room in cubic feet, this is the volume of the room in cubic meter, and this is the volume of the room in cubic feet. So we know 1 meter cube is equal to 35.46 cubic feet. So basically this multiplied by 35.00 or round up, this will be 546875 50, right? So there is a formula for calculating the ACPH, that is 1 ACPH is equal to volume of the room in cubic feet divided by 60. We will get ACPH. That means volume of the room is this divided by this will be 9114 CFM. That is, this is the one air change per hour. This is the one air change per hour for the room of 25 meter side, cubicle room of 25 meter side. Okay, let's move to the next question. An air stream at 30 degree mixes with another air stream of equal mass at 20 degree. That means there is a two air stream. One is at 30 degree, one is at 20 degree, and their mass is equal. Then what will be the mixing temperature? We will have to remember it, that mixing air temperature is temperature of the mixed air. This is the basically standard equation that we have to remember, and we will have to apply it wherever it is required. Okay, so temperature of the mixed air is equal to CFM1 of the air stream 1 into temperature of mixture 1 plus CFM2 of the air stream 2 into temperature of stream 2 divided by CFM1 plus CFM2. Here we know CFM1 is equal to CFM2 because masses are equal. Okay, quantity of the gases are equal. So this will be common in every formula, in this formula. So here will be T1 plus T2 divided by 2, simple formula. 20 plus 30 divided by 2 is 25 degrees centigrade. That mixture temperature will be 25 degrees centigrade. Let's move to the next question. Find the mixture condition of two equal mass of air. Again there is a question that there are two equal mass of air. Here we will have to use psychrometric chart, and if you are in a face-to-face interview, then interviewer may ask you to show how you calculate the DVT, WBT and saturated condition, RH and dew point and enthalpy and specific volume. You will interviewer may ask you, please show me the data shown in the psychrometric chart. So basically you will have to learn that how to study the psychrometric chart and how to find the required data. I have made a separate video to study the psychrometric chart. You will find a link below in the video description. So let's move to the descriptions. Here masses are equal, so M1 is equal to M2. Temperature of the mixture is M1 T1 plus M2 T2 divided by M1 plus M2 basically. So here you see DVT is 80 degrees centigrade. DVT means dry bulb temperature, and saturated means RH is 100%. We can find dew point temperature from there, from psychrometric chart. And condition 2 is DVT is 80 degree again. Okay, so dVt2 is also 80 degree. So T1 plus T2, T1 is 80, T2 is 80, and masses are equal. So T1 plus T2 divided by 2 is equal to 80 degree. The mixture condition will be 80 degree temperature. The temperature of the mixture will be 80 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, the humidity of the mixture, what will happen? Again, M1H1 plus M2 H2 divided by M1 plus S2, M1 plus M2. Here M1 M2 are equal, so 1000 saturated. I have told you that saturated means RHR 100%, and from dVt, from this dVt 80 degree and from dew point 60 degree, we will find from psychrometric chart that RH value is 30%. That means H1 plus H2 divided by 2 is 65%. The mixture, the humidity of the mixture will be 65%. Let's move to the next question. Question number 7 is same as question number 6. Here the masses are different only. I have leave this question for you for your own practice. Let's move to the next question. Find the cooling load on a cooling coil at a given following condition in TR. Use psychrometric chart. That's mean there is a cooling coil, and you have to find what is the cooling coil load by giving two datas. One is entering air data, one is leaving air data. Here is the quantity of entering air is 10,000 CFM, dVt is 85 degree centigrade Fahrenheit, and WBT means wet bulb temperature is 70 degree Fahrenheit. Air leaving is again 10,000, dVt is 53, temperature has reduced due to cooling process, and RH is 88%. Okay, so using these data from psychrometric chart, we can find enthalpy 1, enthalpy of air entering, and enthalpy of air exit. Okay, so if we will find H1 and H2, then we can find delta H, that is change in enthalpy, and that will be around 13 BTU per pound of dry air. Also from psychrometric chart, we will take a specific volume. Value of specific volume will be 14 cubic feet per pound. Okay, and in question number 1 I have told you 1 TR is equal to 12,000 BTU per hour. So there is a standard formula for calculating the TR load from psychrometric chart. If you have CFM, the change in enthalpy and specific volume. Alright, and the formula is CFM into 60 into change in enthalpy divided by specific volume, and that load will come into TR. Okay, so here is CFM is 10,000, 60, 13 is the delta H, and 14 is the specific volume. Specific volume is cubic per pound. We have to convert it, and this is in here specific volume is cubic feet per pound, and we have converted it TR into BTU per hour. Due to finding the value of cooling load in TR, we have just converted BTU unit into TR by dividing it by 12,000, and we will get TR load is equal to 46.42 TR load. Okay, so this is the way that how we will find the cooling load of the cooling coil from given data. Okay, this question may interviewer ask you to solve, or can ask the tricks that how you find data from psychrometric chart. If you know that how to read the psychrometric chart, then you can easily answer that. Let's move to the next question, question number 9. Question number 9 is, there is a condition, a sun rays fall on the following surfaces of equal mass. Which surface temperature will be highest to last temperature? This will be last. And materials are glass, wood, silver, black, iron, concrete, water. That is, there are several material, and same sun rays fall on several material, and masses of the material are equal. Then basically, which of the out of these body, which of one has highest temperature and which of one has least temperature due to sun rays fall on the body. Okay, so this is a descriptive question, and this question basically, this question's answer depend on the specific heat capacity. Let me describe. Since the mass of the all component are equal, so the temperature range will be depend on the specific heat capacity of the material. There is the equation for heat generation in thermodynamics, that Q is equal to mCp delta T. M is the mass, Cp is specific heat, and delta T is the change in temperature. where Cp is the specific heat of the material is amount of heat required to raise the temperature by 1 degree. What is specific heat? Specific heat is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of body by 1 degree. किसी भी बॉडी का 1 डिग्री टेम्परेचर बढ़ाने के लिए जो हीट का रिक्वायरमेंट होता है, डेट इज यूनिट मास का टेम्परेचर बढ़ाने 1 डिग्री बढ़ाने के लिए जो हीट का रिक्वायरमेंट होता है, डेट इज Cp. ओके, from our equation we can say that specific heat capacity is inversely proportional to raising temperature. That means specific heat capacity जितना कम होगा टेम्परेचर उतना ज़्यादा बढ़ेगा. तो from material property we know specific heat capacity of the silver is 0.23 and पानी का सबसे ज़्यादा होता है, water has highest specific heat capacity, that is 4.184. So silver will be the highest surface temperature and water will be the lowest surface temperature. This is the answer. Let's move to the next question. Next question is, can high pressure compressed air be divided into two different streams? One is hot and other is cold. And what is the name of, if such thing is possible, then what is the name of device which can achieve this? Okay, division of two different air stream, one is hot and other is cold, from a single high pressure compressed air stream is called vorticity. Vorticity is a pseudo vector field that describes a local spinning motion of continuum near the some point, the tendency of something to rotate. Okay, continuum near some point means the tendency of something to rotate, as would be seen by observer located at that point and traveling along the flow. The vortex tube, also known as the Reinke-Held vortex tube, is a mechanical device that separates a compressed gas air into hot and cold air stream. The gas emerging from hot end can reach up to 200 degrees centigrade, and the gas emerging from the cold end can reach up to minus 50 degrees centigrade. So this was the explanation of top 10 questions from mechanical engineering interview, belongs to air conditioning and refrigeration, which is generally asked in interview. In my next video, I have already told you what kind of question and from which subject I will make. I have made a video. I'll explain that. Keep watching. Thank you for giving your precious time here, and if you like my videos, then please do not forget to subscribe my channel, which is Funda of Mechanical Engineering, and please suggest if you have any suggestion, then please write in comment box so that I can make improvement into my video. And you can also read these question, whatever question I have explained in this video, you can also read this video from my blogger website, which is www.fundaofme.blogspot.com. I have a blogger website. I have explained, I have written all the questions there. You can directly read from there. If you don't have time to watch the video, then you can read such that questions from my website. Thank you for watching. Namaskar. Have a good time.